Namaste! Grand Rising, Divine Feminine. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555, where your message or message is. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. Divine Feminine, you thought I'd forgotten you. I hadn't forgotten you. I was busy. As are you, darling dear. As are you. Let's dive in, darling dears, and unpack. Oh, you have a 7. 7 is a highly spiritual number, darling dears. Yes, it is. The numerology of the 7 speaks about analysis, darling dears, reflection, right? Getting to the knowledge of it all. This is the truth roof. Pinkies up. The number 7 is ruled by the moon. The moon rules Pisces as well as Cancer energy, darling dears. This has been an extremely introspective period for you, darling dears. Could be as long as 7 weeks, 7 months, or 7 years. Your birthday could be the 7th, the 16th, or the 25th, or those dates are important. Over the next few days, the numbers 4, 5, and 7 will be of some importance to you. This is a time where you are going to have to use diplomacy, darling dears. Somebody may want you to what? Get off your trolley, darling dears. Come out swinging. Don't do it, darling dear. Remember your hairline and your edges, and you'll be put in prison just like R. Kelly. This is about you being an explorer of new things, darling dears. The letters G, P, and Y will be important to you over the next few days, as well as Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Be wary of the numbers 2, 3, 6, and 8. The energy of the 3 speaks about conflict, tongue wrestling, darling dears. Arguments and fighting. Oh my God, another message from the progeny. Hold on, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, darling dears. Did you miss me? I was as quick as I could be. Anyhow, the energy of the 7, the 3, darling dears. It speaks about what? Conflict, arguments, tongue wrestling, a nerve-wracking period for some. Why is all this confrontation coming to meet you, darling dears? It's because you're about to what? Have a major change in your life. Remember, I told you that. Burglar would never try to break into what? An empty house. This is about you being diplomatic because you are about to have a sudden and dramatic change in your life, Divine Feminine. The energy of the 4 is about communication. You're going to receive some kind of letter, text message, email that's going to have you what? Fighting, darling dear. In a fighting mood. For others, this is about a love affair. You're about to embark on a love affair. Good golly and gosh, did you research them? Pay your knees until you know what's going on. Pay your knees, Divine Feminine. Why? Because of the soul ties of it all. And you don't want to be tied to the shepherd of the devil, darling dears. No, no, no. That's thunder and lightning, darling dears. The energy of the 4. It also speaks about your communication with others. Somebody's going to try and communicate to you, darling dears. But as I said, a love affair, somebody's going to approach you through an avenue of communication first. It may be online, maybe you're on a dating site. Good God, this is a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot. Whatever you've been doing, darling dear, you have a love affair coming towards you. Remember, I told you that. Use your discernment. Pray to your ancestors. Ask for their birth natal chart. Find out what their life path number is. Find out who their family is. Right? Because they could listen. Make sure that you cover and protect yourself all along the way, Divine Feminine. Not everybody deserves an invite into your VIP club. And if they get that invite, it can be rescinded. Right? With what? Love and light. 2 of these and 1 of those. Be on the alert, darling dears. 7, it could be a spiritual meeting, darling dear. Yes, it could be. And then it could not. This is the 7 also speaks about a visitor, someone coming into your life or coming to visit you, darling dears. That is going to tell you something that's going to have a profound effect on your plans. Or it's going to make you change your plans through something that they said, darling dears. Listen, Baby, I'm giving you advice. You don't change your plans to line up with anyone else's life. Move across the globe and you don't know who you're going to. Good God! Bestie, oi! Yeah. The energy of the 3 and the 4, I still have to tell you, it means what? Happiness in love. Somebody's about to embark on a new romance. Good golly and gosh. All right. You can do what you want. You've got free will. I'm a pointer, not a picker, darling dears. Not a picker. Let's get your Oracle Ancestral message. We're going to use the, if I can find it, yeah, the True Love Oracle. See what's going on. Oh, is that all the spin is? Okay. Okay. Oracle Ancestral message for my Divine Feminines. Oh, emotional freedom in the reverse, darling dears. This could be a past circumstance or situation where you felt emotionally cut off. Your emotional needs weren't being met, darling dear. It was barren. It was, listen, if you was dealing with the hare, remember the hare fell asleep on the job and the tortoise won in the end. This is, I'm feeling like past situations. So you're going to be cautious, darling dears, where you had no emotional freedom, unable to express your true self, where you didn't have all of the intel of the person or people that you was dealing with. The owl on its back, good golly and gosh. Be very careful, darling dears. Be very careful. I don't care who it is. They may come along holding Jesus and Buddha's hand, right? You still better investigate, Divine Feminine. Let's get it from the bottom of the deck. Good golly and gosh. Distorted Feminine in the reverse. This is you, darling dears. You're coming out of your shell. Some of you are getting over situations where you was emotionally deficit, or in situations that cut off your emotionals. This is about you healing from inner child wounds and the wounds that other people have given you, realizing that it's their lot in life. It's not for you to carry and bear. This is about someone getting psychological or counseling, some form of help, darling dear, that's helped you come out of your shell. This is an enlightening period for you, darling dears, and you're going to be feeling a lot lighter, joyful, even, dare I even say, playful. You're going to be playful, Divine Feminine. Over the next few days is a new beginning. Somebody's taken swimming lessons. Do it. Just like in that, what's that film called of Julia Roberts, Sleeping with the Enemy? Yeah, she had to take swimming lessons in the choir and pretend to drown herself. Yeah, go and watch that film. But you're coming out of a situation where you was emotionally on lockdown, or you wasn't allowed, or you wasn't raised to express your emotions. This is people pleasing. You are no longer a people pleaser, Divine Feminine. Congratulate yourself. Posh clap. Love it. I don't hate it. What did I say? Love is in the air. Yeah. What you're seeking is seeking you. It's on the cards, darling dears. And we've got what? The message with the love on it. Somebody's going to be contacted. 2 Cups speaks about what you're seeking is seeking you. The energy of the 2 in numerology speaks about unity, balance, and partnerships, darling dears. So you're going into a new partnership where there's going to be cooperation. The number 2 is ruled by the moon. The moon is feminine energy, the mother energy. A secret is going to be revealed. It could be someone that's been admiring you for some time, darling dear. They're about to come forward. And look what's coming up. Chivalry is not dead. Good God. Somebody that's coming to sweep you off your feet. Let me tell you something about the love bombing trauma of it all, blood. I've got to talk to you in Jamaican. What do you mean, blood? Pay attention that they're not overly bombing you. But instead, I say that to say this. If you're wanting to take a chance on love, it looks like you're getting the green light, darling dears. And somebody who's chivalrous with their own, this person's got their own horse, their own village behind them, darling dear. Somebody who has their own things. We also see, what's this? When I first looked at it, it looked like a window. But now it looks like, what could it be? Is it a cuckoo clock? Is it a calendar? Is it time? All right. So you have a new relationship coming in, Divine Feminine. Good golly and gosh. Let's go with the heart cards and see what the cards say about this. You have a relationship. If that's what you're looking for. If it's not romantical, it will be platonic, darling dear. You have a soul tribe on its way. What's this? control. You have control of the situation, and you can control the situation by getting all of the intel. Nobody gets free admittance into your life, darling dear, because you're coming from a situation where you was controlled, where you did not have emotional freedom, darling dear, where you had to be in a show. Well, guess what? It's your coming out party. Remember, I told you that. Posh clap. Base of the deck. There's going to be a lot of envy, jealousy, and hate. Good golly and gosh. They haven't stopped that, darling dears. Maybe from someone or someone's who controlled you in the past. They're not going to like this new season that you're in. One which is blessed and highly favored. 7 is a highly spiritual number, as I told you. The number 7 is ruled by Neptune energy, darling dears. Neptune is about dreams, something that you dreamed. Maybe you put it out there into the atmosphere. But it's also about addictions, and it's also about spirituality. Somebody who's on your spiritual wavelength is coming through for you, darling dear. It's going to create a lot of energy. Energy? Oh, Freudian slip meant to come out. It's going to create a lot of envy, darling dears. It's going to create a lot of energy. Why worry when you can pray? That's what you did, Divine Feminine. You didn't worry about what happened. You prayed. And I told you this is about inner child healing. Right? Healing from past situations, circumstances. Maybe you got a psychologist or counseling. Right? What's this? Shame and humiliation, darling dear. Somebody tried to control you with shame and humiliation. This person is directing a lot of jealousy, envy, and hate towards you. Don't worry about them, darling dears. Pray. Pray. Send them love and light. Yeah. Give it to God. Let them be with God. Whoever that is. That's outside the perimeter. Final card. Yeah. Envy, jealousy, and hate. And you saw it on there. They're not sorry. They're not sorry. They haven't learned anything from it, darling dears. They haven't learned anything from what they done did to you. They haven't learned the fact that you've turned your shapely back. Law 16 of the 48 laws of power. Yeah. Shame and humiliation is how they try to keep you trapped. Well, guess what? Law number 10. Stay away from losers, darling dears. Yeah. The unlucky and the unhappy. What's this? Yeah. You're too busy beautifying yourself, darling dears. Getting your hair done, getting your nails done. You're changing your trousseau. What's that? Your outfits, darling dears. You're having a revamp. Because you're the prototype of your lineage. Maybe you came from a line of women that was in abusive relationships. Well, it's not happening for you no more, darling dears. You are the breaker of the mold. The loss of you is their karma. Yes! This is where we're getting all the envy, jealousy, and hate. And sorry, not so. Well, you're not sorry. It was the best thing you did. Whatever you did to leave that situation and realize that you are the prototype of your lineage. Maybe all of the females for generations in your life, in your family line, darling dears, have gone through situations where they were controlled by their partners, by humiliation and shame. And you have to remember, in years gone by, the women, once they got into a relationship, they had to stay with that person. Some did and some didn't. If that person was abusive, a gambler, wherever, they stayed and they put up with it. Sometimes you see people in marriages that they've been in for years and years, right? And at the end, they're all calm. But what did they have to go through to stay there for 35 years? Why did I say 35? It came out that way, darling dears. Listen, you don't have to go through what your four mothers and sisters went through, darling dears. You are the prototype of your lineage. You are breaking out. And in saying that, you still have to investigate everyone, because no one deserves your psychological password, especially when they don't come with good intentions. Their behavior is ratchet. What did I say about not having... Yeah, you don't want a ratchet cheer in your life. And if it's someone that you've left behind, let them stay there, darling dears. The pet cemetery and all that. Yeah, you have to control your options, darling dears. Law number 31 of the 48 laws of power. Yeah. Okay. Let's get a deck. This looks like it's a love reading, Divine Feminine. Base of your deck is the truth, pinkies up, clarity. And you also, again, listen to your intuition, your discernment. Good gosh, I nearly said determined. What's determined? That's death, darling. Isn't that? Is it? Oh no, it's internment. Okay, let's see what cards come up for you, darling dears. I'm starting with everything in the upright. If it should spin, it's because the universe wants it turned over. Why worry when you can pray? You've been praying for a better day, but this is about you feeling better about yourself. If you're getting a makeup and new clothes, could even be surgery, but don't have surgery around the full on new moon. Why? Because your blood will flow more. It's more open to complications, swelling, darling dear. Take longer to heal. That's why. Someone who tried to control you with their ratchet behavior, darling dears. Did something just spin over? Yes, I did. Releasing a burden. Yeah, this is Sagittarius as well as Saturn energy, darling dears. You're releasing a burden. 10 of Wands. In the upright, I might add. It also speaks about somebody is burdened by the achievements that you've had in your life, darling dears. This person has an issue, a commitment issue. Yeah. Having faith, darling dears. Someone who had a commitment issue. There was a lot of fighting in the situation, but we've got God here. This is Taurus, Hierophant energy, darling dears, second house. It was about your values, why you left a situation that was a burden from you. You went from the 10 to the 5. Listen, they had you right up there, right? They was having one more round, Julie, with your hairline and your everything. This is you, what? Having faith. This is you praying. Why worry when you can pray? And you've been given new knowledge about a situation. You're no longer looking at the situation from the inside out. It's like you're the third person looking on the outside in. You have a more understanding of things that you don't want in your life, things that are going to break you down, darling dears. You're not having that. You're realizing that certain things you don't compete where you don't compare. 2-5 speaks about letting it go. You let go of a past situation that was not for you, darling dears. Yeah, world card, you kept that shiznai. Whomsoever you let go hasn't forgotten you. They're still looking out for you, darling dears. Why do they still want to get hold of divine feminine who's minding her own business and on the road to what? New love or a deep friendship, a soul tribe member? Yeah, someone who was a Knight of Wands. This is in and out. Ratchet energy, darling dears. Ratchet energy. A dick-dealing mattress back animal in a kitchen or Cuban hill. Yeah. Well, your eyes are litty. Look, Queen of Swords. You can't be tricked. This is the wisdom of your past experiences, darling dears. And you are certainly not going to be tricked by a page, a marauding page that likes what? You see, I said page. This person is a page. Right? Immature. Yeah, there may be the Knight of Wands, but there was always a page, darling. Just a page is impetuous. A page of Wands is all over the place. Knight of Wands is all over the place. This is somebody who enjoys the sex, but with everyone, this person was a villager. And you know this. This is the wisdom of your experiences. You're in a more cerebral time in your life, darling. This where you take the time to think about situations. Not because you're afraid of it happening, because it will never happen to you again. Why? Because you didn't worry. You prayed for strength, guidance. And we've got the Libra energy. It's about contractual partnerships. Pay attention to everything that's on your cards. Her eyes are looking directly at us. This is current energy, darling dears. You're clued up. You won't be tricked again. This is also somebody who could be a widow, someone who's divorced from a situation, with someone who is what? A knight. This is what? A ratcheteer. Cap that shiznai. You've also got people talking about you in the background, darling dears, wondering what you did to release yourself from a situation. Just because you've come out of the cycle doesn't mean that people around you or people connected to you can get out of that cycle. Or maybe they're wanting your advice. Queen of Swords. You're not going to advise them, darling dears. Where was they when you was going for your shiznai? Listen, not everyone can go with you. Clarify the 10 of Wands. Yeah, burdens, darling dear. Somebody's releasing some kind of addiction, addictive behavior, addictive situation that was not for you, something that was controlling, darling dears. It also speaks about the past still being obsessed with you. Yeah, somebody's looking back, darling dears. Looking back. Are they looking back at what they did to you? Tower moment. Hey, they're looking back at what they did to you, darling dears. Yeah, looking back into that shady past. Yeah, that dark path where they can't even trust their own shadows after dark, darling dears. 10 of Pentacles, this is a new beginning. You're a generational curse breaker, darling dears. Remember I told you that. You've created so many new opportunities. This person is looking back at the stable foundation that you've created for yourself. It could be a new home, car, career, darling dears, or a new healthier way of being. Somebody wants to offer you an apology. What do they want to apologize for? Yeah, past things, darling dears, the opportunities that you're creating for yourself. This is why they want to come and apologize. Knight, King of Wands. I spoke about the page, the Knight came out, and now the King. This is about you, what? Being highly intuitive. You may be a natural born leader. You may be in the public, darling dear, but you are charismatic. You are. Knight of Wands also speaks about somebody that is going to be passionate. Somebody who's good in the bedroom, darling dears. Do you know this? Yeah, but that person came with secrets. Somebody sees you as being in command of the biggest pentacle of them all. This is a big payday, a new beginning, new opportunities. This is somebody who was fickle, who played with you in your face. Imagine that. And that's why you're single. 9 of Pentacles, solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. This is knowing your worth and adding tax. Tell me about the faith. What does the Most High want you to know about this prayer, this new beginning? Taurus energy is also about your values, your income, darling dear. Listen, you have to have faith in the face of adversity, a situation that you had to wash your face like David. This is a lot of passive aggressive. A lot of people are talking about you at this moment in time. They're focused on your work. Somebody's trying to count your pentacles from the nosebleed section. This is past energy. Yeah, lack mentality, darling dear. Someone that you've put down. You've got 5, 5, 5, 5. Good golly and gosh, darling dears. Lean in, divine feminines. Lean in. It speaks about what? Your personal desires are about to be realized. Whatever you've been praying for, divine is about to give you a love tap from the universe. Remember I told you that. Happy days are here again. La 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 la. New beginning for you, darling dear. This is about you raising your vibration. You had to work hard on this, darling dears. Some of you was left in a what? Less than situation, right? When you had to break away from a crowd, group mentality, horde mentality, darling dears. You blocked a lot of people out of your life. 7 of Wands, standing your ground, even if your voice is shaking. It also speaks about the spiritual protection of it all. I just saw a card flip over. Yeah, Ace of Wands, World Cat. Look, on the World card, this is a passionate new beginning, but one that is also spiritually guided. And it's also speaking about your worth ethic, darling dears. You've got the strength, the withdrawal, as well as the guidance, listening to your intuition. You've been working hard. Some of you are working hard on moving. A GPS, darling dears, moving to somewhere else on this Malkuth. Page of Wands. Listen to your intuition and your instincts. Didn't I call the Page of Wands? And the Page of Wands is here right next to the Knight. You may have as much as 2 progenies involved in this situation. This also speaks about this new beginning. For some of you that are of childbearing years, a child will be born to the situation, or you have children coming, you're bringing children into the situation. This person that you're meeting is going to have kids. This person's got his own money, his own land, his own everything, darling dear. Palace of Cups, but it's going to be a true love match. True love's first kiss, divine feminine. Wow. What about this Knight of Wands, this fickle energy, that's jelly bogelly? You've got the Knight of Pentacles. They've been slow in coming, darling dear. Slow in coming. Chariot energy. They was taking their time. They took their time wondering if they could come back. But guess what? Fate, destiny, and good luck is on your side. You have to remain, y'all got to be strong, divine feminine. You got to be strong, right? Wheel of Fortune, things turning in your favor. Right? And judgment, leave the people in the past. Knight of Wands, karma is on them. You've already healed from the situation. As I said, you've had some kind of help, psychological, spiritual help, pouring away what happened. Yeah, you was in your head a lot about this situation, trapped. But it's about what you focus on, it will grow. Clarify the 8 of Swords. You're about to be gifted whatever you want, emotional fulfillment, but you had to find it within. And this speaks about the isolation. Yeah. Moving away from situations that betrayed you. And for some of you, it was a whole throuple from a mask-wearing marauder. They got you involved with someone else. The soul ties of it, all divine feminine. Let's get a fresh deck, see what other messages come up. We know that someone is going into union. Let's see what other messages. Why? Don't go into the union round Mercury retrograde. You're just dating, yeah? Because I believe the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde goes up until, because it finishes on the 1st of January, so up until around the 20th of January 2024. It starts on the 12th or 13th of December, depending where you are on this Malkuth, and it finishes on around the 20th of January. That's the post-shadow. Mercury retrograde kicks off in January, and then it switches over to, in January, what am I talking about? It kicks off in Capricorn on the 12th or 13th of December, and then it moves to Sagittarius around the 23rd of December. To expansion, to truth, yeah, higher learning, all of this and that. Some of you may even be going into higher learning. We saw the Queen of Swords. This is a cerebral time for you, darling dears, where you're using your common sense, your flip-flop, a flower that doesn't grow in everybody's garden. Let's get another deck, see what other messages come up for you. Somebody's feeling stressed, pressed, pumped and perturbed. 9 of Swords. Who could it be? Can't be you, Divine Feminine. 9 of Swords. Somebody's really worried. They can't sleep at night. So either they're too fat or they're too skinny. What's going on? Somebody's stressed out. Because of the success you've created for yourself. Some of you are high priest or priestess. It also speaks about being in the public eye. You could be a singer. You may even be using your spiritual gifts online. You may even be a tarot reader, darling dear. Someone's upset about your success. Someone who you're telling what? 2 of these and 1 of those. What's that? Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. Someone whose cup of hopium and cognitive dissonance that you're not taking back. Yeah, you said loud that. Relax, blood. Relax. There's no healing in that situation, right? What's this? Knight of Swords. This is somebody who is what? Passive aggressive. You've got 2 knights on the tableau, darling dears. And when we see 2 knights, this is disagreements. There was always arguments and fights with this person, right? Where you wasn't able to speak your truth. You felt like you was in a bubble of wickedness. This is where you lacked in emotional freedom, darling dear. But not anymore. Somebody's upset about the successes that you've created in your life, Divine Feminine. All while solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. Yeah, you did it by yourself. King of Wands, natural born leader, right? Speak your truth. This is somebody that can't move on from you, darling dears. It could be an older person over the age of 35. Somebody who's still emotionally attached to you, right? Ace of Swords next to the High Priestess. This is about you having spiritual clarity of a situation. Queen of Cups, you know that this person is disloyal, darling dears. Keep that shit. Someone who you've already ended a situation with. Could be a friendship, it could be a lover, but King of Wands speaks about lover, darling dears. Knight of Cups on its face. Yeah, breadcrumbing central, darling dear. Deaf to that. You've changed. You're not taking any crumbs from anyone's table. You are the table. And anyone that can come around you, Divine Feminine, has to come with their own table. Tower moment in the reverse. You avoided. This is you dodging a bullet, darling dears. When you chose to what? Break free from Folio. Who's that? The king or queen of the fools, darling dears. On the rinse and repeat of the karmic cycle. When you chose you in that situation, it wasn't easy. But you managed to heal. This is about you no longer what? Going backwards, ever forwards. Listen, you've been making the right steps, the right choices forward, and you're about to reap what you sowed in the form of many options, darling dears. But again, the universe is cautioning you to choose wisely. 2 sevens on the tableau speaks about what? Love and light-hearted fun coming your way, darling dears, which is judgment on that person or people from the past that would like to return. This is the karma card, darling dears. No, you get a fresh start with an emperor. Baby. Hey, future husband or wife. Again, love reading, darling dears. From lack, you had to look. You've got the Queen of Swords, 2 different decks, darling dears. You're leaving behind that lack mentality, that less than, where you couldn't express yourself emotionally, where you had to keep your thoughts and feelings to yourself. Not anymore, Divine Feminine. You're talking the things. You're doing the usher in every situation. If you're not comfortable, they're going to know about it, darling dears. Split the deck again. Wheel of Fortune, right? You are the karma for many people that thought they'd never see you get back up again, Divine Feminine. Imagine that. Why worry when you can pray? Envy, jealousy, and hate. Yeah. Whoever's trying that, darling, they're blocked. This is about moving forward. Eight of Wands also speaks about Cupid's arrows coming towards you. And again, moving to a calmer space in your mind, listening to your higher mind. Yeah, because there's no healing when you continue to focus on past situations. Because what you are seeking is seeking you. Whatever that is. Some of you may not be seeking a love affair, darling dears. But whatever you're seeking is seeking you. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. It's been a long time coming. But leave fully alone. And this is also not you blaming yourself for past situations. Everybody makes mistakes, darling dears. But you, Divine Feminine, you got the lesson in that mistake. Yeah. And you don't want that level of karma on your back, mate. Nope. Nope. Nopety nope. Let's use the calm clubs. I haven't used this in a while. See what comes up. What? Genuine enlightenment. This is healing, darling dears, and somebody's stepping into fame. You're different, you're unique, right? This is about abundance and growth and wisdom, darling dear. Wisdom is for the wise. You've grown from in a situation, adverse situation, where you had many battles that you had to overcome, right? Yeah, you're going to a situation or into a period, Divine Feminine, where it's what? Light in the darkness, darling dears. You are being the light in the darkness. When you see the antlers, this means a new season in your life. A new beginning for you, darling dears. A new beginning where you are more grounded, right? And again, about the growth and the resourcefulness of you, Divine Feminine. You can overcome anything, but you have to what? Have a prayer. Nothing like a praying cat. P-R-A-Y. You pray for this new beginning, right? Health check. This is forbidden love from the past, darling dears. But it's also what? Realizing that you want people that are more like the roots, darling dears. People that you can depend on. You don't want someone like a branch that's going to break away. This is your what? Victory lap. We've got the butterfly of transformation. And Divine is telling you to continue to be spontaneous in your life, darling dears. And again, it shows the beautification of it all. Somebody's getting their beautification on, right? You're no longer going through certain patterns. You are protected, darling dears. Remember, I told you that. New beginning for you, Divine Feminine. I love it. I don't hate it. Let's finish up the read with Kipper, because you love Kipper so much. Final messages for Divine Feminine. I can't make it up. Love is in the air. Yeah. Main female, darling dears. What about this main female? Because that's usually a number 2, right? You're no one's number 2. Look, you're going towards marriage. This is paperwork being signed. Maybe you've gone for a divorce, darling dear. The community is talking about you, but they're focused on your hard work. You've got a community of people that are at your back, darling. They're talking about you. They're talking about how you changed. You was never no one's number 2. Somebody thought you was a number 2, or more fool them. You're going to start a situation where you're going to be appreciated, celebrated, respected, darling dears. Remember I told you that. You've got papers on them. Yeah. Someone in the number 2 position. Who is this person in the number 2 position? We want to know about this person in number 2. Who is this? Right? Who is this person in the number 2 position before we end this read? It can't be my Divine Feminine. Who is this? Right? Someone who hasn't got options, who's stuck in a situation. Right? Well, guess what? None of your business. Mind your business and drink your water. Yeah, you're single and independent. Somebody who wants to be independent from a relationship, Ace of Cups, right? A relationship because they want to be emotionally fulfilled. Well, guess what? It could have been you, darling dear. Somebody thought you was a number 2. Yeah, but guess what? There was no healing in that situation. That person is unhealed. Leave them where they are. How dare they think of you as a number 2, right? When you've been given this cup, this cup of infinite abundance is full of love, multiple streams of income, is full of ideas, darling dears, new relationships that are coming to you, new ideas. It's about you listening to your dreams, darling dears, and it's also the cup that brings what? Opportunities, as well as a new lover into your life. Yeah. Ace of the deck. You don't even see it coming, darling dear. You wasn't looking for it, but yet, here it is. On that note, I drops me mic. to over to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks, where I also upload videos. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Divine Feminine. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat.